So here friends, my last Blender tutorial was going good, so I decided to make another tutorial, and in this video we will be doing this mountain blender and rock scene. So the reason behind this scene is because in my previous scene it was sunset scene, and after the sunset it's dark night, and the days were slept, and after the dark night again it became morning. So the present scene is the morning scene. So in this tutorial we will be doing this scene. So the assets for this video I'll be providing a link in the description. So go to my GitHub page, and here you will see that these are the both assets. So click on code and click on download zip. So once you download the zip file will be approximately like 91 MB. So extract the zip file. So here what you'll get is again the two zip files. So again extract both of them, and then you will get a folder called ground texture, in which you will get 4 textures. And the next one is you will get a HDR map, and the next you will get a D model and the final preview and a grass blender file. So if you open the grass blender file, in this you will get all the grass and rock assets. Yes, so you will get all these assets. So the assets which I have provided you is only for educational purpose, and it's not meant for other or any other work. So make sure that you just use these assets only for educational purpose and nothing else. If you use for any other purposes, then you may get copyright issues. So let's get started. So the keys which I press on my keyboard will be visible here. So if you forget to tell any shortcut keys, then you can just watch this section to keep up with the tutorial. So at the beginning we'll press A1 so to select everything and press delete. Now press Shift A, go to mesh, go to plane, and this plane will be our terrain. So you can press S to scale the terrain and move your mouse. I'll scale this much, and then I'll press tab to go to edit mode, press W and subdivide. I'll do this few times. So the reason I'm subdividing my terrain is because I want my terrain to be a bumpy. I don't want my terrain to just to be as a flat surface. So I'll subdivide it few times. Now what I'll do is I'll select this portion or this corner and this vertex, and I'll press O on my keyboard to enable proportional editing. So you can just notice here, now it's enabled. So now I'll press G to grab the vertex and Z to move along Z axis, and move your mouse wheel so that you can control how to influence the other mesh or the other terrain. So here you can see that I have raised this corner, and the center a little bit here, and this one and this one I have raised little bit. Yes. Now even after raising the terrain, again it looks more flat. So what we'll do is we will sculpt our terrain. So to sculpt it, select this and go to sculpt mode. Here change the brush as clear strip. In this panel, change the strength to be 0.3. Press F and move your mouse to change the radius of our brush and start painting. Now what I'll do is I will change the direction as subtract, increase my brush size a little bit, and I'll just paint at the center portion. So the center portion is a little bit down. Yes, press Shift, and if you select this one, then our terrain will become smoother. So I don't want my terrain to be smoother, so what I'll do is again go to add, and here just draw a little bit, somewhat here. So once you're done with the sculpting, what you can do is go to object mode, press Shift A, and then select camera. So now press Ctrl Alt 0 to switch the camera to your present view. Press Shift F and make your camera. You can press WASD to move forward, backward, left, right. QE to move up and down. You can change the speed by using mouse wheel. So I'll roughly press it here, and what I'll do is just raise that portion, in this portion, and this one a little bit. Yeah. So now what I'll do is press W and click on Shade Smooth. I guess. Yes. So now what we will do is we will weight paint our terrain so that we can assign our particles to a particular area. So what you do is select your terrain, click on this icon, add 3 vertex groups. The first one will be our grass, the second one will be our flowers, and the third one will be rocks. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll select this grease pencil and I'll just make a roughly reference. I want my rocks to be present here, 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 and somewhat there. Okay, so this is just a roughly reference. Even though the grease pencil is at the same position, don't worry about that. Now select your grass, go to weight paint mode, and in the section make sure that the brush is add, and then start paint. So the reason I am painting it the back because I want a smooth blend between our present view and the background image, which will be importing later on. So just paint randomly. You can change the brush size by pressing F. So now what we will do is we will select rocks and now paint at the rock position. So I'll be just painting here and here. I'll not be painting here and here. The reason I'm not painting here is because here I'll be adding mossy rocks, and at the back I'll be adding simple plain rocks. Because even if I add mossy rocks at the back end, then the moss will not be visible on the rock. So it's better I don't add moss on that rock. So this rocks will be placed by particle system. Now what you can do is go to edit mode, make sure that everything is deselected, and select grass, click on select flower, click on assign. And now if you go to weight paint mode, you can see that for the flowers again this weight paint mode has aligned the flower. Weight paint mode is same as the grass one, so I'll change the brush to be subtract, strength to be 0.8, and I'll just randomly this paint, or you can just say it as I'll just randomly remove some part of the weight paint. So once you're done with that, go to object mode. Now we will erase this pencil marks, so press Ctrl and again you can rub it. Yes, so now what we will do is, if you press Shift Z, you can see that our terrain is white in color. We will texture it. So to texture it, drag this timeline section, go to shade editor mode, click on this new material, and we will unwrap a image over this terrain. So to unwrap image, first we need to add image. So add a image texture node, plug the color to base, click on open, browse to asset folder. Here select ground texture, select this one. Now we will add another image texture node. Make sure that you press Shift A to add the image texture and you just search it. Add a normal map, click on this open and select this one. Yes, and what you can do is you can press Shift D to duplicate the same thing. Here click on this 3 number, again browse, and this one will be this displacement map. Let me zoom in. Now add a bump node. This color to this height, color space to non-color, color space to non-color. Click on this icon, browse, roughness, and this roughness will plug into this roughness, color space to non-color. So now what we'll do is the texture is too large, so we'll just scale it. We'll just scale the texture. So go to UV editor, press tab, make sure everything is selected, and in this section again make sure everything is selected. H to scale about that much. Yes. Now I guess the texture is clear now. So I'll again go to shade editor and here. So what we will do now is we will add a background. So the background will affect our scene lighting. So to add a background, go to the world mode. Here you will see that we have a default background node. So just delete this one. Add a environment texture node and click on open. Go to assets folder, click on Cape Hill 4K HDR, click on open image. So once it's opened, now you will see that we have a background image and the lighting of our terrain is influenced by the background. Yes, but here you will see that our terrain is too much yellow and this is because the background lighting is yellow. So we don't want our background lighting to be yellow, we want it to be blue, because in the morning scene the whole scene will be in blue color or the lighting will be blue. So now there are two ways to do that. The first one is to alter this present image and the second one is to find the alternative for this image. So in some cases you will not find alternative for any image. So at that time what you can do is you need to alter the present image itself. So here, just take an example. Someone gives you this equation and asks you to remove all the algebraic part and they just want the integer part. So what you basically do is you take the whole term and you divide it by the algebraic term so that you just get the integer. So here in this equation the extra part is x square, so I just deleted it by x square. So this is not the proper way of doing mathematics, but I am just giving you an example. So in this case we have more yellow lighting, so we don't want our yellow light to be present in the scene. So what we will do is we will add a mix RGB node. So press shift A, search mix RGB, plug it in between and this one to be divide. And what we want to divide by yellow color, so I'll drag this one accordingly at the range of yellow. Now you can see that the background lights, all the yellow colors are gone. Yes, okay, so we will do the same thing with our terrain. So make sure you select the terrain, go to object mode, add a mix RGB, color to divide, second color little bit yellow. Yes, now the terrain is looking like it's in the morning. So now what we'll do is we'll add a background image. This background was just for the lightning and now we will add a background image. So to add a background image, once press Ctrl Alt U and here search for images and make sure that you check this box of import images as plain. Now what we'll do is we'll press Shift A, go to image, click on image as plain, again open Cape Hill 4K HDR, click on import image as plain. So once the image has been loaded, just scale it and position it properly. So I'll be positioning it after our terrain and now I'll scale it. J to grab, S to scale. We'll roughly place it here. Even rotate if necessary. Make sure that the camera line is parallel to this line. So if you don't have the parallel line, if it's rotated like anything, then just make sure the both lines are parallel. So I'll roughly place it like this. And now what I'll do is this light has more yellow light because this one is the same as the background one. So even this image will have more yellow light. So what I will do is I will do the same procedure, add a mix RGB node, color mode to divide, and the second color should be yellow. Okay, so lightly, not too much, it's lightly. Yes, so now what I will do is I want the background to emit lightning, so I'll plug this color. Let me zoom in. I'll plug this color to this emission and now I will change the emission strength to be 1.5. Yes, yeah. So now what I'll do is I will import all the assets. So to import the assets, go to file, click on append, and you'll see that there will be a file called grass.blender. Okay, so this one is my present file. so I will not be including this file. So open grass.blend, go to objects, and here make sure you select everything and click on append. Once all the files are appended, make sure that you move all the files to a new collection. So press M2, move in a new collection, select new collection, name this asset, name the collection as assets, click on OK. And now if you press 2 on your keyboard, you will see that we have moved all our assets to a new collection. Make sure you delete your son. Now what we will do is we will select all the rocks, press Ctrl G to group them, and this group I will call it as rocks. Okay, so grouping the assets will be useful when we place our assets on the terrain. So make sure you select all the grasses and Ctrl G, grass, all the blue flowers, Ctrl G, BF for blue flowers, all the yellow flowers. So I'll be calling this yellow flowers, maybe it's orange but I'll be calling it yellow. Ctrl G, yellow flowers, yes. And the last one is the plants, Ctrl G, plants, yes. Don't alter anything or don't do anything with the mouse, we will be playing with this later on. So now if you press 1 and shift 2, you can see that we see all the assets in the same scene or in a one scene. So let's move all the assets to another scene. So make sure you are in the scene 2, A to select everything, press shift 1, and all the scenes is visible, press G to move in X direction. Yes, once it's moved in a different position, now what we will do is we will place all the assets on our terrain. So you select your terrain, go to the particle settings, add approximately 5 particles. First one, name it as grass, second one rocks, third one BF for blue flowers, fourth one YF for yellow flowers, fifth one, and it's plants. Yes, select the grass, click on here, make sure you click on advanced, and here go to the render option, render as, make sure it's collection, and the collection was grass. Yes, click on pick random and object rotation. Okay, so when you click on object rotation, all the grasses are aligned in the right side. So to fix that, make sure you select all the grasses and go to your scene, press R to rotate, and in Y direction 90. Now once all the grasses are set to upward direction, what you can do now is go to vertex group, change the density to grass. Yes, now click on children, click on interpolated, here change the display amount to be 5 and render amount to 5. Now random scaleness to be 0.2 and the scale to be 0.06. Yes, it's quite good, I guess. So now what we'll do is we'll click on rotation and we'll randomize to be 1, phase to be 1, and randomize phase to be 2. What this will do is it will rotate all the particles in a unique direction, so all the particles will not be having the same direction, it will be having a randomness. So this will be useful later on because our scene will look more realistic, and here the number I'll change it to 2000. And what I'll do is I will hide my grass, click on rocks, click on here, click on advanced, rotation, randomize phase, randomize to 1, phase to 1, randomize phase to 2, render as collection, instance collection, it was rocks, right? So select rock, it was rock, yes. And here don't play with the children and click on vertex groups, density to be rocks, pick random object rotation, number to be 30, and random scale to be 1, scale you increase it. So I guess this much is okay. Now I'll select all the rocks, rotate by 90. Okay, so here what you do is you can even change the length from hair length to 3, I guess to 2.5. Yes, you can play with the seed value so that the rocks align in a different position. Every time you change the seed value, the rocks get assigned to a different position. I get number should be 20, seed, yes. Okay, so I get this is quite good. So now what we will do is we will hide the rocks, select blue flowers, click on hay, click on advance, click on rotation, randomize to 1. So the rotation Okay, so we do each time this one because we want all the particles to have a little bit variation, so that's why we play with the rotation. And now render as collection and instance collection as blue flowers. Okay, so I guess I did some mistake. I did not group them properly, so press Ctrl G, BF for blue flowers. Yes, select the terrain here, instance collection as BF blue flowers and density to be flowers. Select all the blue flowers, rotate by 90, and now random scale to be 0.2. I guess. Okay, so it's large 0.06 or 0.05. No, 0.065. Yes. After this, what we do is, yeah, you can play with the seed value. Number, I guess it should be 1500. Okay, so I guess the length is too high. 2.5. Sorry, 3.5. Yes. Now I select yellow flowers. Click on here, advance, rotation, render as collection. This one as yellow flowers. Pick random or rotation, density to be flower. Yes. Select all the yellow flowers, rotate by 90. So now we will scale this one, scale random to be 0.2 and 0.065. Yes, I will make the blue flowers to be visible so that I can make both of them. Yes, now both are equal. It's quite good. I'll change this number to be 2000. Seed, I'll just change it somewhat. Yes. Okay, so I guess 1500 is good. Seed change. Yes. So after this, what I'll do is I'll click on these plants. Again, click on here, advance, rotation. Yes, render as collection, and this one to be plants. Pick random of the rotation. Again, this time change the density to be grass because we want all the plants to be in the grass section. Select all the plants, rotate by 90, and here number to be 2000. Yes, you can even change the randomness to be 0.2. Okay, so you can just change the seed anything you want. Now what I'll do is I'll make all the things invisible, and now I'll import my D model. So go to file, click on import FBX, select this D FBX, click on import FBX, click / on your keyboard to just view the D model. Here you will see that the D model is not assigned properly because some of the models which you download from internet, most of the FBX models will have little bit alteration. So the models which you download from online, if it's not assigned properly, then sometimes you may get the alternative models, but sometimes you don't get alternative models. So at that time, what you should do is you need to fix it manually. So I have given you this model wanted it because I want you guys to have, or I want you to play with the model so that you can fix it manually. So now for this case, what you do is here our bones are just misplaced according to the D model. So what you do is you select all the bones, press tab and press A once or twice to select everything, rotate in X direction and it's minus 90 degrees. Press G to grab. I'll place it roughly here. Now if you press tab, you will see that yes, the bones are properly assigned. And now the material, you will see that the deer is too much shiny. So what you do is you select your D model. Here change the roughness to be 0.8 or 0.75. Yes, make sure you select the hairs, and again here you make the roughness to be 0.75. Now you will see that if you select the D model and if you press tab, if you press A once or twice to select everything, there are many unwanted vertices. if you download any model from internet, then there will be definitely some unwanted vertices. To clear them, what you can do is select all the vertices, press X, click on limited dissolve, and the max angle is 5. Now you can see that some of the vertices are dissolved. If you take an example here at this point, yes, you can see here. So if you increase the max angle to 100, or then this deer will get, or it will lost its shape. So if your deer has, or if your models have, or if your models are too small in your scene, then you can use this limited dissolve. But if your models are too near to your camera, then make sure that you don't make the max angle large. So in my case, I'm just making it 5. Okay, and I'll do the same thing with the D hairs. So select everything, press A, limited dissolve. Yes. So once you're done with that, what you do is, if you press Alt A and if you press G, you can see that we cannot grab our deer. If you press Alt A and if you grab, you will place it. You will place your deer here, and if you press Alt A, you can see again our deer model is switching to the original position. So to fix this, there are 2 ways. The first one is to add a sphere, and the second one is to alter or play with the animation. So playing with the animation is a little bit tricky, so I will not be doing at present. So what I will do is I will add a sphere. So before adding a sphere, what you will do is you will select all the bones, Alt P, clear parent. Now you will see that the D model is enlarged. So now we will add a sphere. So press Shift A, select empty, click on sphere. Now you can see that the sphere size is too small, so we will scale the sphere by pressing S. I'll roughly place it here. So now what we will do is we will select the bones, Shift select the sphere, press Ctrl P, click on object. So now the sphere will help us in 2 ways. The first one is the animation we play for our deer. We can just move and we can play our animation wherever you want. You can see the previous problem is not coming now. And the second thing is, if your scene has large mesh, or your scene has many high body models, and your scene starts to lag. So to avoid lagging, what you can do is you can select the mesh and press H to hide. So now you can see that our mesh is hidden, but still you can see, or you can just notice that yes, my deer model will be present inside this, and this will give us a roughly reference of our deer model. So press Alt H to unhide everything. So adding a sphere will help us in 2 ways. So now what we'll do is we'll scale the sphere. So press select the sphere, press S to scale, just roughly scale it this much. Now I'll press slash to unhide all the scene. Yes. So just wait a second. Yeah. So now I'll grab the D. Okay, so my D is present there. G to grab, rotate in X 90, rotate in Z 90. I'll rotate a little bit more. Yes, so now I'll properly place and I'll properly scale my deer. Okay, so I'll be scaling this much roughly. I guess. Yeah, little here. Yes, S to scale. Now I'll place it on the terrain. So make sure that you grab it in the Z axis until the both legs are just touching the ground. So I guess this much is okay. So now what I'll do is I'll select the D mesh, select the D bone, select the sphere, and select the deer hairs. Press Shift D to duplicate it. Yes. Again, what you will do is you will scale this deer. So this one will be smaller than the first one. Alright, so now what we will do is we will change this pose, the D pose, as it's watching us, and this one will be eating grass. Yes, I guess they will be very rocks, so I'll place me here. Yes, so now what you do is you select these bones, and this section change it as timeline, and yeah, so just make sure that you go to pose mode, and now you can see that the deer idle animation is about 600 frames length. So our end frame is at 250, so we will change it to 600. Now we will press Alt A to play the animation. Yes. So you can see that the deer is playing grazing animation. So what I will do is I will pause here. I'll pause the animation here by pressing Alt A to pause the animation, and now what I'll do is I will delete all the frames by pressing delete. Now press Z on your keyboard to go to wireframe view. Now select this bone, R to rotate in Z direction, rotate Z, this bone, rotate Z. Now yes, this deer is seeing us and this one is grazing. Yes, so press A once or twice to make sure all the frames are deleted, and press I, click on location rotation scale. So after adding the animation, so now what we'll do is if you change the or if you select the different timeline, then now you can see that this deer is playing the eat animation and this one is idle, and we want this deer to be idle. Okay, so again I'll go to this frame. Yes, here you can see that the present animation frame is 156. I guess the deer is not seeing properly. So this bone should be little this side. Yes. Yes, again select all the bones, press I. Yes, now I guess it's, no, not again, so yes, I'll select it. Yes, now it's seeing properly, so just make sure it has a roughly reference of seeing us. So what I'll do is I will go to this frame, it's 126, starting frame to be 126 and frame to be 126. Now again go to object mode and rotate, sure it has a straight rotation. Yes, I'll place it properly, surround it a little bit smaller. Yes, so now what you do is we will select this one and we will just want to see all the particles. Yes, my CPU started to lag. Yeah, okay. So for the yellow flowers, let me see this one. Yes, the blue flower it's 0, no problem. So I guess the amount number is too large. Let it be 100. Yellow flowers, let it be 100. Sorry, 1000, not 100. Okay, so 1000. And the grass, let it be 1005. Oh my goodness, not 50. So I guess it's better to have 1000. Yes, and this one I guess it is on. No, 700, now it's 1000. Yellow flowers 800. Okay, so I'll just make both the flowers to be 800. I'll give both the equality. See, I'll change it. So now what we will do is we will add the rocks, the mossy rocks at the front end. Yes, so I'll select any of the rocks, press Shift D to create, and what I'll do is I'll select the moss, and the moss name I'll just rename it to moss, and I'll select the rock. I will add a vertex group. Again, I will name the vertex group as moss. Go to wake paint mode. Make sure the brush is add, strength is 1, and roughly paint it. So this will be our moss area. Yes. Okay. So now what we do is we will add the particles. So select this section, click on these particles, name it to Moss, click on here, click on advanced, rotation 1, phase 1 and next phase 2. This time we will make it as object, not collection, and the object is Moss. Yes. And here what we will do is we will decrease the amount to be 800, or we will just play with that later. Randomness to be 0.2, scale will decrease it. Yes. I guess the number should be 1000 only. Yes. Here is the scale. Scale I'll just increase it bit 0.2. No, 0.1. Sorry, 0.01. And here I'll change the hair length to be 5, 7, no, 6, 5, 5.5. Yes. Okay, so now it's looking good. So what I'll do is I'll select this one, G to grab, I'll place it here, R to rotate, we will roughly place it here, I guess, real small, this one to be 4, 2, yes, and yes, I'll place it here. So now what I'll do is I'll duplicate the rock, shift D, duplicate, rotate in some angle, S to scale, G to grab, and okay, so don't change anything, shift D, S to scale, G to grab, roughly place it here. So here you will see that the numbers are too high for this one. So if you change the number here to be 20, the other particles or the other moss rocks are also effective. So to undo that, what you should do is you have to click this one, the number 3, and now if you change the value, only this rock will be affected, not the other one. Shift D, scale. Okay, so we'll duplicate this one, shift D, scale, G to grab, roughly place it. And the final one. Okay, so I'll duplicate this one, S to scale, G to grab, and here. Okay, so let the amount be 200. Yes. Okay, so this is here. Now what I'll do is I'll just duplicate all the other rocks. So I'll shift select the other rocks, press shift D, duplicate, I'll place it approximately there. R to rotate in some angle, G to grab, and yes, it's quite good. So okay, so the amount of the mosses are quite low, I guess, or the size of the moss is low. So what you can do is select the moss, scale. Okay, so it's not effective. So scale the value 3. Yes, I guess 3 is quite good. Alright, so now what you do is press F12 to render this portion out. So this image is a raw image. Yeah, so this image is raw image. We need to edit it a little bit. Here you can see that the yellow flowers are 2 more. Grass will increase, the grass count will increase little bit, and you will decrease the yellow flower count. Even you will scale our D, and even you will scale the size of our grass, so there is little bit alteration. And yeah, so first thing is in this one, and I'll just hide my days. So let me just scale it. Yes, hide. Yes, here you can see that the grass, the stones should be present there. Yes, and the second thing was to change the value of yellow class. Where is my yellow class? It's here. I'll change it to be 700. Alright, play with the seed value until I get a good one. Yes, this one is cycling. I guess it's quite okay. Select the blue color. Okay, so I guess I should increase the size for okay, so 3.5. And the final thing is I need to change the value of the grass. So 1200. I will disable these other things and we will draw exactly slash 1200 or 1005 1300, and I'll play with this video value. Okay, so somewhat just change the seed value. So now what we will do is hide this all. Again press shift F12. Yes, so here again I think we did not scale the grass size, so we'll do it later. So yeah, I just forgot to scale that one. 0.07. okay, so 0.065. So now what we'll do is we'll change this node to compositor and click on use nodes. So we will edit this photo. So what we'll do is we'll press shift A, search viewer, this image to this viewer, and click on backdrop. Go to view option, change the zoom and change the offset so our image is above the nodes. Yes, I'll grab it a little down. Yes, so now what we'll do is we will add a saturation. Before that we should add a bright / contrast, and here change the contrast to be 1 and brightness let it be 1.2. Now don't play with the hue value, because if you play then everything is gone. So make sure that the default value is 0.05, not 0.5, and change the saturation value. Change this value. Okay, so 1.2. Okay, so it's looking little bit quite good. So now what we'll do is that the last we'll add a exposure, and this exposure we'll set it to -0.5 or -0.2. Yes, now we will add a vignette effect. So these adjustments I'm just doing accordingly. I don't have any perfect value. I just seeing the scene and I'm just adjusting them. So now what we'll do is we will add a vignette effect. So to add a vignette effect, add a ellipse mask. Plug this mask to this image. Change the width and height so that you see a ellipse around your photo. Now we will add a blur node. Make sure the blur is Gaussian. Change the X value to be 400, the Y to be 400. Yes, now we'll add a alpha over node. Make sure you plug this image to this factorial, this image to the below image. Now you'll see that we have a white vignette effect, so we don't want the effect to be white, so we will decrease, or we'll just change this value to be 0, black. Yes, now we are having the tight vignette effect, so make sure it's 450. Yes, now we are getting a quite good vignette effect. So at last what we need to do is plug this image to this image, and again go to the 3D viewport. And finally, I forgot to tell one thing. We will add a depth of field. Yes, so what is depth of field? It's a focusing on the present image, and it will just blur this portion in the backend portion. So make sure you are in the view and select the camera. In the render view, select the camera, go to the camera option, click on depth of field, and here click on this pen icon and select the empty, or you can just browse for empty, 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 and f-stop, let it be 1. And now so I'll just hide the other things so that my scene will have, or my scene will not have more laggy thing. So yeah, so you can see that it's blurred from here and it's focusing on our image. So now if you press F12, wait for some time so that Blender can render the file. So yes, now you can see that we are getting a good effect, and here I guess the grass size I should increase a bit more, and yes, still there is some issues, so we'll fix it. So first thing, we need to increase the grass size. So select the grass, it to be 5, and camera 1.2, 2.1, okay, 1.5, no, 1.2, 1.3, go to the compositor, and here change the saturation value as 2.1. Yes, I guess 1.05. Okay, so if you again press F12 and make sure Blender file render the image. So that's it for the tutorial. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions, then you can comment me below, and do like the tutorial, do comment, do subscribe, and always have a great day.